think that was probably the turning point when I was told that you're going to be coming back through the VFL, and obviously there's a fair bit of expectation as the #1 pick, and to hear that, it was certainly a punch in the gut.
As soon as he walked into the football club, I remember watching him in contested marking, and he'd be versing like some really senior guys and just beating them, like taking one-handers so strong, and I'm thinking, I was just like, how good is this bloke? And I was like, geez, he's kind of annoying how good he is and how mature he is.
Part of a great hope for the future for the Blues. From point-blank range, puts it through.
It was just working through little mental hurdles and going out on the training track each week, working bloody hard, and eventually dug myself out and was able to get some games towards the back end in the senior team and then play some consistent football after that.
I mean, it's pretty spectacular for a key position player to come in and play 100 games so quickly. I think that's, people need to acknowledge how exceptional that is. That doesn't normally happen. Normally, key position players take a little bit longer to be able to build up and become physically capable of being able to cope in the game.
Well, he probably didn't think about it too much. Separate them in 250s. The first one was pretty rough, I reckon. A lot of lessons learned, and certainly up and down for my career. And then the second 50, I think I just put together some really consistent football, and I go out there each week and try and do my best for the team, and I think that's what I did.
Yeah, I think he's evolved. I think he came in as a really talented intercept marking defender who could use the ball when he first arrived, and I think he's developed and grown to be that key back. I think probably a couple of years ago, Jonesy went out with concussion, and from that point forward, he's really embraced the ability to be able to play on the best forwards each week.
Yeah, well, Weiter's journey has been amazing. He's been, in a weird way, someone that I've looked up to. Come out and do what he did against Jack Rewalt in his first game. Even though I was playing in a different position at the time, I was just constantly just like, geez, like he was kind of annoying how easily he was doing it. His progression and his growth, I think, has sort of mirrored mine in my position change, and then we both come in the leadership group at the same time. His development has been really quick, and in a way, although I'm 30 years of age now, I'm trying to match his development and trying to improve it at the rate he is.
He's matured and become a far harder worker, now part of the leadership group and a great role model for all the players that come into the footy club.
Well, I reckon the first 50 was a bit of a struggle, and the second 50 was a little bit more successful for me as an individual. So the third and fourth year, I guess you're trying to cement your spot on the side and play consistent football, and that was something I struggled with, and it was quite well documented, and certainly learnt the hard way doing time down the VFL and some pretty steep learning curves along the way.
Going back there, it's pretty well documented that was probably the most nervous I've ever been in a football match, and it was probably the lowest point of my career as well. So to look back on that and I guess smile in a sense, because I'm glad it happened to me, and I learned some really good lessons from that.
It was funny, the first VFL game I played was against Frankston, down at Frankston in front of I reckon half the peninsula, which I'd played with or against. So that was probably the most nervous I was before a game that I've ever played. Probably one of the best games I've played by the end of it.
Early, boys, pressure on early. Boys, some feet, win the ball. Goes for the boundary line as wide as he could, but Weitering very strong in the air. Fantastic mark that was from the best and fairest winner from 2020, Jacob Weitering, 100th game.
It's been tough probably the last 5 or 6 years to get a win on milestones for a couple of boys, and for the team to get it done was awesome, and against the old rival in front of fans was terrific as well.
It's been a bit of a rock for us this year, obviously following on from his best and fairest year last year, so I mean, it's pretty spectacular for a key position player to come in and play 100 games so quickly. I think that's, people need to acknowledge how exceptional that is. That doesn't normally happen. Normally, key position players take a little bit longer to be able to build up and become physically capable of being able to cope in the game. So
it was a terrific result for the boys, and we worked bloody hard to get it.
The way that he's grown, I think he's relaxed a lot more. He doesn't put as much pressure on himself, but he works so hard and he's deserved everything he's got. He's played under stress at times, like body stress, and just continues to compete. He's turned himself into one of the best defenders in the AFL, and for us as defenders and myself, he's definitely someone that we look up to, and I know his family will super proud of him for 100 games, and it's come around really quick. So yeah, I think the next 100 will be really special for him, and who knows, there might be 100 more after that.
I think he now feels like it's his footy club. He's one of the drivers of the footy club, so I think that's probably the biggest thing, you know, from where he started. He's starting to you know, assume that mantle, I think, as the, you know, the key pillar back there who can anchor our defence, and because of that, I think he's starting to have a far more influential role on game day and at training, I think, in the standards that he sets.
It's an incredible honour just to pull on the jumper, let alone play 100 games in it. The name goes up in the locker, which is really exciting as well. And I guess the next step is to win a premiership for the team, and that's our next goal.